Now that investors are fleeing America after Donald Trump decided to issue a barrage of tariffs on countries across the world, could the United States go into recession over the next few months? And what does this signal for the whole world as inflation continues to rocket? Joining me now is Chip Forrester, former chair of the Tennessee Democratic Party. What do you make of the future of the US economy and the dollar, considering Donald Trump's moves on tariffs? And based on what one US strategist has recently said, he's saying that the US will go into recession over the next few months. Do you think that he is right? And do you think that the trade war has damaged consumer and business confidence so much that it will push the US into recession? And what do you expect will happen next?
The stock market has spoken resoundingly about how they feel about the tariffs and how they feel about the president and his economic policies. So, and look at the bond market now. All these things are clear evidence of the utter failure and incompetence of this president. I think the thing that also is disturbing is just he has surrounded himself with sycophants who are pathetically unqualified for the jobs. I mean, take the Secretary of Defense having conversations about a military strike over a cell phone when we know the Russians and the Chinese and the North Koreans and the Iranians are doing everything they can to follow us. So, I mean, I have my clear opinion that it's an absolute disaster. One interesting point. I'm here in Illinois, and this is a huge Southern Illinois is a huge soy producing area in our country, and China buys 60% has been buying 60% of American soy over the years. It's going to destroy farmers who have voted for Donald Trump. The other one that's happening is Australia is now talking seriously with China about all their doing a cattle trade because of the price of cattle beef in the West. So we're going to see cattle ranchers go belly up. And these are the people who hailed Donald Trump. I want to make one other point too. This has all been predicted in the Project 25 document, 2025 document. I mean, all of these things, maybe not so much the tariffs, but all the stuff that we see Donald Trump doing. It was all laid out. Russell Vought laid it all out in the Project 2025 document that Donald Trump said, well, I've never read it, but regardless, he was part of it. We're seeing all this stuff implemented now, and it's an absolute disaster. And then you've just had Health and Human Services Robert Kennedy come out yesterday with more crap about autism, completely wacko. I mean, people are going to die. I mean, they're making decisions in this administration. Well, it's already happening with USAID funding cut in Africa, and the small pittance that America spent on this foreign aid did huge work, saving millions of lives. And we're going to see AIDS ravage Africa because of the fact that USAID has been closed. So it's just been an unmitigated disaster. I'll also end with his favorability ratings are the lowest of a president in the first 100 days ever. There's never been this precipitous drop in his favorability. And I've said to friends and to people, I hate what's going on, but I think we have to go through this agonizing experience. We have to have enough pain for the people who voted for him to wake up and go, oops, I'm not so happy. And perhaps the pain will be strong enough that the midterms would be a wipeout, particularly in the House. I feel confident we'll take the U.S. House back. The Senate, U.S. Senate is a different problem. So it's just an unmitigated disaster.
Well, then, what do you think about the chances of a US recession? I mean, we have a US strategist and other strategists and economists saying that these trade these tariff wars, I mean, they are going to be costly for the US economy, but also it's going to spill over into the global economy too. So what do you make of that? Are we months away from a US recession? And obviously we know if the US is in recession, it's going to spill out. So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, over here in UK, it's not so much in the mainstream media, but we are in recession. I mean, it's awful. So what do you actually think?
I think it's going to happen. There's just no way to sustain this, and the manufacturing that he wants to do in America, you just can't ramp up, a steel plant or a manufacturing plant in months. The other thing that he doesn't seem to understand, I mean, you look at cars in Detroit, General Motors and Ford, the complexity of all the different pieces from Canada, from Mexico, from Asia, from steel. I mean, it's all intertwined, and it's been intertwined now for 20 years. And how you unravel that and then have pure manufacturing of automobiles in America, it's just not possible with the complexity of the business, the supply chain complexity. I mean, we saw that with the pandemic. Oh my gosh, what happened there? So, I mean, I think unfortunately, we will be in some sort of recession. We're already moving in that direction, and because the American economy, and again, I'm not trying to brag about what power we have as a country, but our economy is the single most powerful economy in the world that's linked to the European Union, to Britain, and who've been our allies for 80 years. And we have blemishes on our country. I mean, Vietnam War was not right. Afghanistan was not right. Iraq was not right. I mean, I will own those. But still, what we've done for 80 years to create the world of prosperity, of India, of England, of the European Union, all linked together, and he's just destroying it in a matter of months. So I think it's and so our incredibly incompetent president is now going to his actions will have direct impact on you, your country, and others around the world. What I worry also about are just the more fragile economies. Britain and European Union, you have your difficulties, but you're still relatively strong economies. But the weaker ones, in Europe, I worry about. And then there's the whole burning question of Ukraine and what's going on with that. So